One second they were putting on a show, the next they were gone. Some of these deaths were so shocking that people didn't even realize what had happened until it was too late. These legends literally gave their final performance in front of a live audience. Let's get into it. Tommy Cooper. April 15, 1984. Tommy Cooper was doing what he did best, making people laugh. The British magician-comedian was performing live on national TV, pulling off his usual goofy tricks. Then, out of nowhere, he clutched his chest and collapsed. The crowd? They laughed. They thought it was part of the act. Even the cameras kept rolling like nothing had happened. But behind the scenes, it was total chaos. The host, Jimmy Tarbuck, panicked, and medics rushed to help. By the time they got him to the hospital, it was too late. The audience had just watched a legend die, and they didn't even realize it. Mitsuharu Misawa. June 13, 2009, Japanese wrestling legend. Mitsuharu Misawa was in the ring, doing what he had done 1,000 times before. Fans loved him for his brutal, no-nonsense style. But that night, things went horribly wrong. His opponent delivered a suplex, just a regular move in wrestling. But this time, Misawa didn't get up. He wasn't moving. The ref hesitated, unsure if it was real. Then the panic set in. Medics rushed in and started CPR right there in the ring while the entire crowd watched in stunned silence. He was rushed to the hospital, but the damage was already done. A fatal spinal cord injury had taken him out. A wrestling icon, gone in an instant. Steve Irwin. September 4, 2006. Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter himself, was out filming for a new documentary. He had wrestled crocodiles, stared down venomous snakes, and handled some of the deadliest creatures on Earth. But the thing that got him? A stingray. He was swimming near an 8-foot stingray, filming for Ocean's Deadliest, when the stingray's tail shot up, stabbing him straight in the chest. The barb pierced his heart. His crew dragged him onto the boat and tried to save him, but it was too late. The whole thing was caught on camera, but the footage was never released. The world lost a legend that day. Carl Walenda. March 22, 1978. Carl Walenda was 73 years old, but he wasn't slowing down. He had spent his life walking tightropes without harnesses, and this time was no different. He was crossing between two towers of the Condado Plaza Hotel in Puerto Rico. No safety net, just pure guts. The crowd watched in awe as he made his way across. Then, disaster. A strong gust of wind threw him off balance, and in a split second he was gone. He fell 120 feet to his death. It wasn't broadcast live, but the footage spread later, showing the horrifying moment he lost control. Pedro Henrique. March 12, 2023. Pedro Henrique was in his element, rocking the stage at a festival in Sao Paulo. Fans were loving every second of it, until, out of nowhere, he collapsed mid-performance. At first, people thought it was part of the show, but as the panic set in, they realized something was seriously wrong. Medics rushed him to the hospital, but he was pronounced dead on arrival. A heart attack had taken him out at just 39 years old. Valencia Prime. September 12, 2022. Valencia Prime, a well-known drag performer, was owning the stage during her primetime showcase. The energy was electric. Then, mid-performance, she suddenly collapsed. The crowd was stunned. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, but she didn't make it. The cause? Atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. A natural cause, but still a heartbreaking way for such a vibrant performer to go. Colonel Bruce Hampton. May 1, 2017. Colonel Bruce Hampton was celebrating his 70th birthday with an epic concert, surrounded by legendary musicians. It was a night to remember, until it took a tragic turn. During a jam session, he suddenly dropped to his knees, leaning on a speaker. At first, people thought he was just messing around. He was known for his unpredictable stage antics, but then, he didn't get back up. When it finally hit the crowd that this wasn't part of the act, it was too late. He was rushed to the hospital, but didn't make it. Barbara Weldons. July 19, 2017. Barbara Weldons, an up-and-coming French singer, was putting on a mesmerizing performance at a festival in France. Then, in the middle of her song, she suddenly collapsed. Turns out she had been performing barefoot and stepped on faulty electrical equipment. The shock was fatal. She died instantly, leaving the crowd in stunned silence. Sib Hashian. March 22, 2017. Sib Hashian, the drummer for Boston, was performing on a cruise ship during a Legends of Rock tour. Everything was going great until, mid-performance, he suddenly collapsed on stage. People tried to revive him, but there was nothing they could do. He was gone. Dick Shawn. April 17, 1987. Dick Shawn, known for his offbeat comedy, was performing for a college crowd. He suddenly collapsed mid-routine. The audience? They laughed, thinking it was just part of the act. But when he didn't move for a while, people started realizing something was wrong. He had suffered a heart attack right there on stage. Lillian Hardin. Armstrong. August 27, 1971. Lillian Hardin Armstrong, jazz legend and former wife of Louis Armstrong, was performing at a tribute concert for her late husband when, in the middle of playing, she collapsed at the piano. She suffered a fatal heart attack. It was like jazz itself had just lost a piece of its soul. KK, Krishna Kumar Kunath. May 31, 2022. KK, one of Bollywood's most beloved singers, was performing at a packed concert in Kolkata when he suddenly collapsed backstage. He was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Cause? Cardiac arrest. Just like that, India lost one of its most iconic voices. Mike Scaccia. December 22, 2012. Mike Scaccia, the legendary guitarist for Ministry and Rigor Mortis, was shredding his guitar during a gig in Texas when, out of nowhere, he collapsed on stage. At first, the crowd thought he was just getting into the performance, but when he didn't move, the panic set in. The band stopped playing, medics rushed in, and he was taken to the hospital. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. A heart attack had taken him down at just 47 years old. Rock and roll lost another legend that night. Leslie Harvey. May 3, 1972, Leslie Harvey, the guitarist for Stone the Crows, was about to start his set at a gig in Wales when tragedy struck in the worst way. He reached for a microphone that wasn't properly grounded. The moment he touched it, a massive electric shock surged through his body. He collapsed instantly in front of the entire audience. Band members rushed to help, but it was too late. He died on stage at just 27 years old, a freak accident that took a rising rock star way too soon. Owen Hart. May 23, 1999, WWE wrestler. Owen Hart was supposed to make a grand entrance from the rafters of the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. It was all part of the show. He was being lowered into the ring in a superhero-style stunt. But something went terribly wrong. The harness malfunctioned, and Owen fell 78 feet straight into the ring. Fans in the arena saw him hit the mat, but TV viewers didn't. The cameras cut away just in time. Paramedics rushed in, but the damage was done. Owen Hart died from blunt force trauma. It was one of the darkest moments in wrestling history. These performers lived for the stage, and tragically, that's exactly where they took their final bow. It's crazy to think about, but in a way, they went out doing what they loved most. Let me know which of these shocked you the most. And hey, if you want more insane stories like this, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button.